My early career as an artist, I was a commercial illustrator. And when you're an illustrator, you're called upon to draw and paint just about any subject under the sun. And often they involved figures and people doing things, to promote or sell a product. So I got a lot of practice, a lot of exercise doing figuratives. And then when I wanted to get into fine art, it was the plein air boom was happening. Everybody was having plein air competitions, and it was all about the landscape. So I really got my feet wet in the fine art market just doing landscapes. And then when I got interested in Western art, it seemed like kind of a natural thing to just combine the two. I felt comfortable to do a cowboy on a horse or a Native American, out in the Southwest desert. It just seemed like a natural progressive thing to do because I had that experience painting a lot of people early on in my career, and now to put the two together just made much more sense, and it gave me another level of interest. I'm representational, but I'm also impressionistic, and I'm stylized. Some people have said my work is more calligraphic in drawing and more poetic in the stylization, and I think that's influences from Art Nouveau and kind of the craftsman aesthetic, a lot of emphasis on nature. So I guess I would say my work is representational and impressionistic. I used to, when I was an illustrator, I painted really tight and drew really tight. And becoming a painter, and there's just so much to learn, and I want to be more, more organic, more, take advantage of the paint, which is a very sensual kind of organic medium. So this show coming up is really my first big, large-scale one-man show. And the ideas and the concepts for many of the paintings have been kind of in the works, sort of on the back burner for the last couple of years or more. And then something sparks an idea and you bring those out of the sketchbook and start working on them. And so, it's something I've been formulating for, at least a year or two, just to get to where these paintings could be, finished up for this show. You're going to see paintings that are larger in scale, more of those in this show, and then some that have a little more story behind them. That's why the title of the show is called More to the Picture. Some artists want to do, they focus on the idea or the message but put more weight on the design, and others put less weight on the design and put all of the effort into the story or the idea of the picture. I want to make a nice picture that appeals to not just somebody else like myself or other artists, but your average person who would be attracted to it because of the shapes and the color and the impact of the design. And I'm certainly not opposed to telling a story with a picture, but what I really want to do is just start a story with a picture. So the idea of a message or a story doesn't have to be totally fleshed out. I want that actually to be left up to the viewer. So I just want to give you a start. So therefore I put all of my time and effort, or most of it, into the design of hopefully a pretty picture that appeals to the viewer. Taking an idea from my sketchbook to the final canvas involves several stages. Taking a thumbnail idea, working it out in a tight final sketch, working from models and reference material, and then doing a color study. With each stage I go through, the concept changes a little bit. Hopefully it improves, but more happens with each stage I go through until I get to the final canvas. And sometimes it looks quite a bit different than that original thumbnail idea. The nucleus is still there, but the final painting is a lot different than I pictured when I first started the concept. Hopefully, this body of work is makes a statement that I've worked hard and honestly at it, and I hope it'll be well received.